back to episode number 2 of In the Loop. I'm Katrina, and I'm in the loop.
And I'm Christian, and I'm out of the loop. And this is Larry, and Larry is also out of the loop.
True. And then this is Luna, and she's being a naughty pants, so I'm going to try to hold on to her for a lot of this. So, yeah, last episode was really fun, and
yeah,
it was good. I think we are on the right side of history with that one.
I hope so. I just try to put forward my 2 cents.
You do. That's all you can do, right? I mean,
that's all you can do.
That's what we're here for. Yeah.
Fly on the wall perspective. No stakes in these debates.
True, and I think if anyone has a little bit of a stake, it's me sometimes. But I'm trying to be a blank slate for this. This one is gonna be a eensy bit tough for me to be a blank slate once again, and that's why we have Christian, obviously, because he is very unbiased.
Some bias?
Yeah, because for today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Tana Mongeau and Alissa Violet drama. And I have always had a love-hate with Tana, but lately it's been love. And, I kind of grew up with her. We're the same age. And, when she was coming onto the scene, a lot of her content was really relatable as, a 16-year-old. She started so long ago. She's known for making a lot of mistakes. She's had a lot of controversies in her past.
Okay.
She's done a lot of scams, some on purpose, where she knew they were scams, some complete accidents she didn't really know. So that's kind of her history. And then Alissa Violet was part of the vlog. Nope, sorry. Incorrect. Alissa Violet was kind of during, I guess, was it Team 10 with Jake Paul and stuff? And she dated Jake Paul before.
I don't even know a lot of... So I don't know any of this.
Do you know Tana at all?
I've heard the name, but I don't know who she is or anything about her. And it's Logan Paul.
No, Jake.
Oh, sorry, Jake?
Yeah, Jake Paul? For this one.
So I don't even really know much about them other than the odd YouTube video maybe that I've seen too. So I'm out of the loop even with that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up too much with YouTube and
Interesting, and I really did grow up with YouTube, so that's really interesting.
It was mainly just video game playthroughs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, see, I was kind of more on this side of YouTube, and just for a little bit of context. So like I said, Alissa Violet did date Logan. She's the one on the right, or sorry, not Logan, Jake. Jesus Christ, these brothers are so confusing.
One of the Pauls.
One of the Pauls, the fighter one. Aren't they both fighters? Yeah, anyway. So Alyssa's on the right of the screen right now, and she dated Jake Paul.
Okay.
And Tana's on the left, and Tana married Jake.
Okay.
It was a publicity stunt. It wasn't real.
Wait, the marriage?
Yeah, the marriage wasn't real. It was a whole... That's how crazy Jake was. They were doing... And I guess Tana, too. They were doing, fake marriages for clout.
Okay, that's interesting.
So we're not going to be talking about that today, obviously. We're going to be talking about the recent drama with them. So, anyways, let's get right into it. Excellente. So, our fighters today. So, in this corner, we have Tana Mongeau and Brooke Schofield. So Tana Mongeau and Brooke have a podcast together. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the beef is going to be more about Tana, but Brooke is an important character in this story because they do their podcast together called The Cancelled Podcast.
Okay.
And they talk a lot of shit together. On that. I mean, they talk about their lives, they talk about people they run into, right? They're in the celebrity influencer kind of sphere in Los Angeles, so they talk about a lot of that stuff. And then in this corner, we have Alissa Violet and Tessa Brooks. I mean, Tessa Brooks is not really integral to the story, and I'm trying to skim over a lot of the stuff that's not as important, in my opinion, because there's some stuff about this story that I feel the lead is getting buried a little bit. The really important part of this, people are brushing over, and it's actually blowing my mind. So, stick around definitely till the end to see what I'm talking about, but it is very, very odd. So, yeah, in this corner, Alissa Violet and Tessa Brooks are good friends.
Okay.
And then side characters that I mentioned here are Jason Nash. So, Jason was part of the Vlog Squad. Do you know David Dobrik?
Heard.
So, David Dobrik is funny laughing. He sticks his tongue out whenever he laughs, and he did the Vlog Squad. So he he made vlogs that were 4 minutes long, and he would always have his friends in them and different characters and these sorts of things. So Jason was one of the characters in those, and he was dating Trisha at the time. And you know Trisha.
Yes.
So this was Trisha's like first really long-term partner, I would say.
Okay. That's interesting context.
And he has kids also, to keep in mind. And so then another part of Jason is when they were in the vlog squad, because Tana was around that, Trisha was around that, obviously. He was trying to hook up with an 18-year-old, freshly just turned 18, Tana Mongeau.
Whoa.
So let's just keep that in mind when we were talking about all this, but let's get to the next slide. Okay.
On the birthday it shows up.
No, pretty much, because David was always trying to get Jason to have a threesome while he was with Trisha. So Trisha, Jason, and then they were always pushing for it to be Tana for some reason, and they would always joke about it. And then finally, like, he actually kind of like tried. Very strange. And like I said, she was like freshly 18. It was very strange.
There's a lot of lore here.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but a lot of that
trying to ease into the pool.
So we're gonna take a breath. We're gonna like try to ease into it. Exactly. So Tana starts making TikToks making fun of Jason Nash, the guy we were just talking about. These, in my opinion, are really funny, and they're very lighthearted, and she's not talking about what she could be making fun of him for, of like trying to F her when she's 18, freshly turned 18. I'm trying to keep it a little
right, because there's a lot of dirt, I guess. You can use that to...
There's so much dirt. The way he abused Trisha, and she's friends with Trisha, obviously. So, like, there's all these different things that she could come after him for, but she doesn't. She sees things on TikTok that she finds are funny, and that's what she's making fun of. So, Jason Nash, for context, because of David Dobrik's downfall at the hands of Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas, they kind of, like, brought to light a lot of the things that Dobrik was doing that were illegal, scams, hurting his friends. He, like, is the reason why Jeff Wittick almost lost his eye.
Whoa.
Like, there's a lot of these different things that he was doing, so he kind of got canceled and phased out. Okay. So because of David getting phased out, Jason hasn't really had a job, and he hasn't been as popular with influencing because David was the reason why people watched him. And he blew a lot of his money on his, like, side projects that he wanted to do, like comedy things and this and that, and so he isn't super successful right now. So what he's been doing recently, at the time of this happening, I think he's still doing it, is he's basically panhandling on TikTok. So he goes on TikTok live for 8 hours a day, and he's like begging for cowboy hats, begging for galaxies, like, you know, like those are the things that people can gift you on TikTok.
Okay, I'm already like full grandpa mode.
Oh yeah, no, I'll make sure I explain. So like sending someone a galaxy is like a really expensive gift, right? Okay. And then they send it, and then he's like, oh my god, thank you for sending me a galaxy. So
there's different like emojis for the different
gifts. And then
gifts.
they put the cowboy hat on him, and he's like, oh, thank you. It's like different little emojis and weird things.
But those are all gifts as in like...
gifts that people are spending money to give him, and then that in turn pays him and gives him money from TikTok. Okay, so he's making money off of going live for 8 hours a day, basically, on TikTok. So essentially digital panhandling.
So he's a digital peasant.
Peasant? Maybe. But anyways.
Maybe a jester.
A
court jester.
I would say a digital jest.
It's like, Saya, look at me do this funny dance. And give me a cowboy hat, Saya.
Tana can't help but see this and have to laugh at it because that's hilarious. Like, you're obviously like off the dome making jokes about it because it's like objectively funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Especially for someone who's like a total douche, as we've like added context to already. Yeah. It's like fun to see his downfall, right? Sure. Because he's an asshole. So yeah, in my opinion. But here's just an example.
Listen to me. Wherever you are right now, whatever is changing in your life, sometimes I feel like in the world it feels like things aren't always present, you know, like things are always changing. But just know, this will help you sleep at night, that wherever you are and whatever's changing, Jason Nash is somewhere on live panhandling for money. Okay?
It's like kind of funny. Like,
it's kind of funny.
If you ever feel bad about yourself, like just like no, Jason's got it worse, kind of. So honestly,
shots
it's like really
fired.
funny. It's funny.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
You know, it's hunting season.
It's hunting season, my dudes. Okay, so then let's go. Let's go. There we go. Alissa, for whatever reason, decides that Jason is worthy of defending And he thinks that she thinks that Tana is being mean.
Okay. Well.
By making these TikToks. So she goes, Alissa defends Jason for how he's making money. So Alissa, oh my god. Though I was saying Alissa and it didn't sound weird, and then I said it and I realized that's your brother's girlfriend's name.
Yeah.
That literally was tripping me out so hard. Sorry about that. Okay, so Alissa makes a TikTok calling out Tana and saying what Jason is doing is fine. And stop bullying this middle-aged man that has kids, because he's trying to help pay for his kids, which is like a whole other thing of him being weird. Anyways.
Sure.
It's true that Tana and Brooke were flying a little too close to the sun at this time and calling out a lot of people on their like canceled podcast. They had Tana's assistant on calling out Tessa Brooks, which is like what we talked about earlier, Alyssa's friend. And so Alyssa's a little bit already salty with them. They're kind of coming for a lot of her friends. And then this was like the nail in the coffin of like, okay, now you're making fun of my other friends, so you just kind of stop.
And this is all online?
Of course it's all online. Yeah, they're not actually talking to each other. That would be too reasonable. Like, hey guys, can you not do that? Yeah. And so, yeah, an important quote from this video is, not everyone can post a butthole pic on, I'm just going to say OF, but you guys know I'm talking about the spicy website where people post... So, anyways, we know what OF is, I think, right?
Yeah, no, you lost the word.
You don't even know. And make millions of dollars. So that's what she. So let's watch what she has to say. Shall we?
At least I'm not Jason Nash.
It's like made a bunch of
Okay, I've had enough. I was gonna say something a couple of times ago when Tana started stuff with Tessa, and then she always talks about Jason Nash, and then she talked about this other girl, and I posted on my Snapchat about it because TikTok wouldn't let me post a video for some reason. But regardless,
take a breath.
Tana, I know your job, and I know that like you're supposed to be like talking about drama all the time, and that's literally your job on your podcast. But for coming to come for somebody that's literally just trying to make a simple living on like just going live on TikTok trying to make ends meet. Like, he's a middle-aged man, like he has kids, he has to make money for his kids' school, like all this stuff. Not everybody can post a butthole picture on OnlyFans. Like, and make $1 million, okay? That's like unheard of, and that's great that you do that. That's awesome. Cool, like I'm not shaming you for that. That's great. It's just not everyone can do that. So what we're not gonna do, what's not cool in 2024 is shaming people for going live, for making a couple of extra dollars to provide for their kids, okay? And I know you're BFFs with Trisha and you're on that side, but it's like, what's not cool is to shame, okay? Let's grow up. You have a big girl podcast. Let's wear some big girl pants. You have some people looking up to you, so you have to be a good example. It's like, when did shaming become okay? Like,
That's so weird.
Like, oh my god, at least my life's not Jason Nash, like, going live every day. Like, he's trying to make money. So you have your job, you have your podcast, right? And you have OnlyFans, and you post naked pictures to make money, correct? Yes. So then he goes on live to also make money. I'm in the In-N-Out parking lot, by the way. I'm starving. I'm hungover. But, so he goes on TikTok live to make money. So he's being shamed because he doesn't want to. I'm just like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like, shaming's not okay.
Take a little while.
In any sense. So it's like, let's fucking grow up.
You'll figure it out. Just take a little. No, just kidding.
So, I mean, she's saying, oh, shaming's like not okay, right? But she's shaming her for selling nudes online. So it's like she's saying shaming's not okay, and she's
that's
shaming
how
it.
Tana takes it, is that. But I genuinely feel like when she's like, no judgment to you, but you are doing the same thing as him, like you are selling your body.
Sure.
I genuinely don't think
it's hypocritical for sure. But her argument about shaming, though, it goes against her argument.
I don't see her shaming necessarily in this. I see her as being like, because she was really genuinely being like, if you're selling that, go off. Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's your choice. But not everyone is able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think she's trying to shame her. I think she's just like, just realize not everyone has that ability to. So he's doing his own version of that, basically.
It did seem a bit like, hey, at least he's not doing that a little bit. But at the same time,
I think maybe what I got is like she's trying to say they're both doing the same thing almost. It's about the same level.
I definitely got the air of like,
from.
hey, don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But in that, at the same time,
she's also a little bit being judgmental.
She's being judgmental and saying, hey, don't be judgmental. Mm-hmm. So it kind of goes against her a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Definitely.
Just a little bit.
Definitely. I can see that. I can see both sides. Like, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe she's just being like, go off, girl, that's fine. But, like, but then I also see where you're coming from. And that's obviously how Tana takes it, too. Is like, okay, well, you're shaming me. And then here you are. And then just...
But then it just can't be a back.
Why are you sticking up for Jason again? And, like, so upset about it.
I mean,
like, making an honest living. It's like, he's really not. Like, he's really... You know,
there's a lot of weirdness, but all I'm saying is it didn't help her argument.
It definitely didn't.
By having judgments and shaming her for something that she does professionally when she's trying to defend someone because they're being shamed for what they do professionally. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like just either let everyone have their hustle or like let's all shame.
I'm sure it's good intentions
hustle.
too.
I know what you mean.
I always think people in these situations have good intentions, but it's almost like just think about it more before you post.
Like I said, I think she has good intentions, but she shouldn't be probably like dying on this Jason Hill. And she
No, I agree.
Realize that later on. I don't want to spoil anything, but don't die on the Jason Nash Hill. Everything else made, and then just. I mean, obviously she's being a little bit petty and a little bit bitchy too, but we'll see. I mean, her TikTok was a little bitchy.
Yeah.
It's a little petty, but it's okay.
You know, that's how it goes when people are offended.
So whose team are you on so far right now in this moment?
Neither.
In this very moment.
Neither? I don't know. It's just one of those things, right? It's
you're definitely going to change your mind, but I just think in this moment, who are you like more on their side right now?
Well, see, I don't have enough information, but as far as, like, you know, the only thing I can say, because I don't even know them, that's the thing. I can't, like, have a side or release, so it's kind of like, what video was more entertaining for me?
Sure, which one was more entertaining?
It's like, Tana had, like, a, shit-eating grin, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know, even I started going in there, like, ooh,
and she's more
it's
popular,
fun, right?
too, and, like, that it's interesting because like Tana does have a bigger audience, and honestly it's probably why. She's a very entertaining person. She's an entertainer, she's a comedian, she's funny, and she grabs an audience. And it's interesting from like the early get-go of like looking at what we're looking at is like you're already feeling a little bit like inclined towards her because she is very entertaining, and
people like a roast. I mean, like comedians do it all the time.
And another thing too is I feel like if a man was doing that roast it wouldn't be an issue.
Oh,
but somehow, because it's a woman doing it, then we're causing all this, like, cattiness. Because Jason didn't say anything about it. He was, like, letting her post her TikToks and ignoring it. But, like, Alissa kind of inserted herself into this.
That's what I find interesting now. Now with that context...
Now you're inserting yourself. Jason didn't give a shit. He knows what he's doing is ridiculous, and he's kind of, like, open about it.
See, that makes things more interesting.
Yeah.
Because me knowing that... Well... He could have here, we just don't know because he didn't post about it. But, which is also a mature thing to do.
Well, also he knows better not to say anything because then she could go with all the receipts,
well, right? Sure, but it's also...
And he doesn't want to open that can.
It's also not a good look to kind of get
just
in
take the roast, exactly.
Yeah, like, get in a little battle on the internet.
And, like, she made a funny joke, take the joke, and move on. And he did, and Alissa, like, felt the need to defend this middle-aged man.
Well...
But... And then the girls are saying Alissa doesn't always play nice either because she's being like, you guys are being bitches on your podcast and talking all this mad shit about everybody you come across and, like, be more responsible. You have a large platform, like, be responsible with it. So now the girls, Tana and Brooke, are like, oh, that's interesting because you're kind of a bitch too online. So let's talk about it. So after defending her friends, it was pointed out that Alissa is not innocent. Brooke makes TikToks pointing out that she's been mean to Paige Lorenz on Depop, which is just like a clothing selling app, like a used clothing app. And by writing weird descriptions, Brooke and Alissa called Paige something Brooke said that Alissa called Paige something she didn't actually. And then they ended up speaking privately about the situation to work it out. And then Brooke corrected herself in another TikTok. And once again, Brooke is the co-host of Cancelled, Tana's friend.
Right.
So
so that's that podcast.
Yeah, so Alissa...
And they talk shit.
Yeah.
So
that's
Brooke
is trying to be... And so Brooke was trying to be like, hey, you're not so innocent, Alissa. Like, you did this, which is she posted the thing on Depop and she wrote, pink tight dress, super snatch, makes your waist tiny. I wore it to a party with my situationship in 2021 and it was weird mini rave, and this girl came up to me and said she loved me and thought I was super cool. She told me she followed me for years and wanted to just be like me. Then she followed me around the party all night like a stalker, and my friends thought she was sketchy, but I gave her a chance then. And she pulled me aside and said, by the way, I hooked up with your ex. Can we still be friends? I walked away. That girl was Paige Lorenz. Anyway, my situationship said waist looks snatched in the dress. So anyways, she just like left this petty description of this dress and being like, oh yeah, this Paige Lorenz came up to me at a party and like, you know, told me she hooked up with my ex, which is like a stupid, weird thing to say, but like not worth making a weird caption. I don't know, fair enough, whatever, it's your tea, go off. But then Brooke made TikToks being like, hey, you're a bitch too, Alissa, you made this weird Depop caption about Paige Lorenz. And then
everyone's guilty.
Everyone's guilty. Everyone's being a bitch. Sounds
everyone's
like.
Being a bitch.
And that's okay. Let's just accept that that's our jobs.
Also, it's interesting.
Those are their jobs. Those girls is to be bitchy on the internet.
There might be
like
nothing. There might be nothing to this. Okay.
Yes.
Remember last episode?
Mm-hmm.
It was a similar accusation of like, oh my god, like they said that they like loved me and that like things were awesome. I don't know what like happened because they thought I was the best and we're like friends and stuff. And then like this is like a betrayal because I thought we were like cool. I don't know. It's interesting.
And
seems like this like weird alibi, like this weird, too, you know.
Like I didn't want to include this too much because it's not as important to like the main part that I want to talk about. But Alissa feels really burned by LA influencers in general. She's like, they're all trying to hook up with all of my boyfriends and my exes and da 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 da. And it, on one hand, yeah, I see where she's coming from, but I think that's like a really personal trauma, and she's starting to be callous because of it. And then on the other hand, too, like, let's blame the guys that are cheating on you. Stop blaming all these girls around that maybe they don't even know that he has a boyfriend. And he's not, right? Like, why are we blaming all these girls and getting into all these little, like, catty fights and stuff when it's really these guys that are being kind of not cool?
It's because the guys don't post about it.
Exactly. And the girls are going all talking smack. And the guys are getting away scot-free.
It's because they're all out of the loop. They don't even know what's happening.
They don't even know.
They don't even know that their exes are fighting. True. They have no idea.
They don't know what's going on.
Just kidding, I don't know. But maybe they do.
And Tana and Brooke clap back about this on the Cancelled podcast, and they finally bring this topic to the podcast, and they cover everything. So they cover the Tessa Brooks thing, they cover the Jason Nash thing, they cover the OF comments. So Tana and Brooke address everything in the Cancelled episode. Brooke calls Alissa the meanest girl in LA, so keep that in your head because that's going to be important later. The meanest girl in LA.
It's probably meaner, I don't know.
Tana addresses why she feels justified to poke fun at Jason because of her past with him, and then she specifically addresses Alyssa's comments about her OF. She says Alissa kept begging her for help with hers.
Everything Jason Nash has done, he is lucky that the main focus is his problem with panhandling for those cowboy hats, okay? I went back the other day for the very first time ever in my life, and watched these videos of Jason and I when I've been 18 for a week, right? And he's trying to kiss me. And again, I also lived that. Like, I will never forget being in that dressing room with Jason Nash and he's trying to kiss me. And I'm like, what the fuck has my life come to, right? This is not what I signed up for the vlogs, Mr. fucking black hat giggle guy. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, on top of that, just the way he was to Trisha, I don't have to sit here and go in on that at bullet point list. Either you know and you care, or you don't know and you don't care, right?
I think she personally, honestly, doesn't even want to be tied to him ever again. So
and fair enough. So that's her kind of point about Jason just being like,
right.
Listen, that's the least of his concerns. He's lucky I'm talking about that, not other stuff, basically. Then here are her comments about Alissa talking about the OF.
She goes,
Okay.
to talk about how I sell my butthole on OnlyFans. First of all, I never have. Second of all, I'm gonna now out of spite. Okay? I don't know. What the fuck? Where do you get off?
I am going
She's
to make
so
merch
funny.
with Tana's asshole and Alyssa's face on the same fucking shirt. Honest to God, what? Like that's the most shameful thing in the world.
Here's
Like,
what I'm going
how
to
about
say.
how about this? How isn't that how a lot of people are making an honest living and how they're supporting their children? Fuck you,
That's what you were saying.
stupid idiot.
Do you know how many times I've been out with Alyssa Violet and she's asked me if she should start an
By the way.
OnlyFans if I can help her because she has no
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
money.
They're
And then you're gonna come online and shame me?
That's what I heard.
You know how many times I've literally, the last time I was with her was at Bar Elise. Like, and she's fucking jaw swinging, asking me about fans. You wanted to do it, you're just mad because you wouldn't succeed at it because you fucking flopped.
Maybe she should get back into diss tracks.
And that's what
That
I'm
was
also
that
saying.
was also an honest
Anyways,
living, right?
That's just the point is she's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
when we go out and we're like on snow and
Mhm.
your jaw swinging, obviously, like talking about them being on substances
course,
and
yes.
substances,
Yes.
and her telling Tana like, oh, I want to start an OF, want to start an OF really bad, and like asking her for tips and stuff is what Tana is saying.
So, trying to see what's up with some
Yes,
of that
with his
entrepreneur
career.
action while they're powdering the noses, have a little combo.
Powdering their
You know,
noses
it's
in the restroom.
it's interesting. It's interesting, right? Because if there is drama to see now, I'm starting to understand why some of this drama is exciting and fun. because Tana makes it kind of funny.
She's so funny.
She kinda
How
makes
can you
it funny,
deny
though.
How funny she is. She's
Like
hilarious.
if you're gonna talk shit, at least make it entertaining.
I know, she's so
And
funny.
I get it. It's like an easy kind of get people riled, get the people going.
She's known for her story
But-
times. That's how she came about, and it's
Sure.
because she's so good at telling
Good
stories. She
storyteller.
knows how to tell a story in such an
Yeah.
entertaining way.
Yeah. No,
She's funny.
I laughed at the butthole comments. That was pretty.
It's hard to
freaking
deny
hilarious.
how funny Tana and entertaining Tana is.
No,
She's
it
a
was
true
really
entertainer. Truly, so funny, and I totally respect her for her
I
entertainment
mean,
skills.
to go back to what Alissa said, I'll correct her in the sense that she said, not everyone can post their butthole and make $1 million.
I would argue
everyone
could
they
post
could.
their
I was just gonna say that. That was my point. Anyone could post their butthole.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't make $1 million.
Exactly. Tana's
know?
got a beautiful butthole that makes $1 million. No, she doesn't even post it. So, a little more context about
Yeah.
Tana's OF is that she
No buttholes.
actually doesn't post anything very lewd, or she posts lewds, but she doesn't post nudes.
Sure.
And she doesn't post any inserting, any coitals, any nothing like
It's as G-rated as it can get.
Yeah, it's basically like a tiny bit spicier than Instagram. It's not the way people normally use OF.
Right.
Like if anything, her OF is more like a Patreon and like exclusive content for her fans that like her. Like maybe they post more of like behind the scenes vlogs and stuff like that. It's not really
Right.
meant for like lewd content as much in the way she does it. I mean, she still does post like a little titty and a little nipple, but like
I mean,
it's not like OnlyFans. It's like
sure.
OnlyFans when she
Right.
does it. So
Right.
yeah,
I mean, and what she does is her business, right?
yeah.
It's still better than other things you could be doing
Oh yeah.
as a business. Like,
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Absolutely.
But that's her business.
That's her business, and what's Alissa to judge her posting
right.
on OnlyFans?
And-
Especially after asking her about like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to do one too. Like,
And I know,
don't wanna be
I was
successful
making
with
fun
it.
of, Buddy panhandling, but it seems like
Jason.
he's got some things that kind of incriminate him a bit, and he's a bit scummy. But
Yeah,
it
he's got
is.
his
I
kids
mean,
and stuff.
to me, it's entertaining because you're literally just telling me about it now.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was like a thing.
Yeah, it is very entertaining. I should have pulled clips from him screaming when people like. Actually, Ethan found him
See,
live.
this would have been interesting.
Ethan found him live when he was doing it. And then Ethan's like, "Wait, let me send him some gifts," and he sent him like $10,000 worth of like gifts. And Jason was like screaming and freaking out and being like, oh my gosh, like Ethan, like thank you so much. And like it's so pathetic because like he does not like Ethan. Like Ethan has screwed him over, but he's like praising him just because he's really, I don't know, the whole thing is very interesting. It's very interesting.
You know what, fuck it, if it's if he's actually making money off that.
He is. I mean, he's grinding. Good for him.
Yeah,
I think Tana says, like, I rather see Jason selling Align leggings at Lululemon than, like, panhandling on here. Like, get a real job would be more reasonable, even. Because Alyssa's point was, like, what is he going to do? Go get a real job? That's more pathetic. And Tana's point was, like, no, actually, that I would be way more, like, impressed with him if he went and sold Align leggings.
Real jobs aren't fun.
Yeah, I'm sure he has way more fun doing the, you know, TikTok lives. And he's honest, too. And he's like, I don't have any skills. Like, I can't do anything else. Well, that's valid. Like, okay, sure. You know,
all of them are hypocrites because they're all doing entertainment-based
True.
jobs.
Whether it's, like, this going live all day or whether it's, like, posting canceled podcasts or whether it's doing OF or whatever your medium is.
We're all playing the game.
We're all doing internet entertainment at the end of the day. So how judgmental could we be?
You know what? And we can be judgmental because we have real jobs and we're doing this shit.
So true.
When we're only doing this shit, then we can be like, yeah, we don't have real jobs.
And you know what? If I had enough followers on TikTok, I'd be going live as much as I could if it was making me money.
Yeah.
I would be an NPC for anyone. I'd be downtown Vancouver being an NPC. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the roses.
If people were just sending me money, I'd be like, oh, they must really like me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this is great.
Just play guitar on there.
Yeah. I'll just have Larry with me.
Not? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like the tin guy down in Vancouver, but I do it on my phone. Why not?
Yeah. And then as soon as Larry's gone, no money coming in.
Don't say that about Larry. He's never gonna leave. Anyways.
Yeah, he lives forever.
He lives forever. So that's kind of that's that slide.
Tea is hot. The tea is hot.
Moving on to the next slide. Okay.
Uh-huh.
A month later,
right.
Alissa addresses the whole thing in a video called My Response. Oh, the drama. I love it. So Alissa takes responsibility for her wrongdoings and says she was being a bitch, but she felt like she had to protect herself in that, like, influencer sphere of, you know, dog eat dog, fuck your boyfriend, fuck my boyfriend, like that kind of thing. She just felt like she had to be a bitch, which is valid. And she apologizes for not knowing Jason's past of being a creep with Tana and, like, defending him. She was honest to God, like, okay, that's really messed up. I'm really sorry about that. So this apology, like, honestly, was pretty good. She really addressed all the things that she needed to apologize for. She's like, I'm sorry for being a bitch. Like, she didn't deny being a bitch. She was just like, to be honest, I was. And I'm sorry about that. I was using it as a defense mechanism, that sort of thing. So I'm not going to show those parts of the video because that's not, like, the goal here. But, yeah, she apologized. And that was great. And I think all that stuff is kind of, like, out of the way now and not really an issue anymore. Like, you know, Tana said her piece, Alissa said her piece about that. That's fine. So what we're going to look at in this video is that Alissa drops this bomb in the video that most people seem to brush over, including Alissa herself. She just brushes this over. And the whole thing is so weird to me because to me this is the lead. This is the important part of the story. We're just like brushing over this. It's crazy.
So then on her podcast, Tana and her co-host Brooke made some pretty serious accusations about me, one of which say...
It needs to be just as giant. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, in the beginning she wasn't wearing sunglasses and then the sun kind of moved in a way and she's like, wait, hold on, I need my sunglasses, so just keep that in mind.
I'm ready.
Well, yeah, we're ready now, okay.
Airing to Tana about making an OnlyFans account, therefore implying that I'm some sort of hypocrite. I'm going to show my conversations with her throughout the years regarding this, and I've always politely declined. Pause to read. Another accusation was that I texted her
Do you see how she just glosses over those texts?
I could barely read them because it was so fast.
We are going to read them.
We get to decipher them?
We're going to read these. This is important. So, she received multiple texts from Tana begging her to make an OnlyFans. Huh? That contradicts what Tana was saying of, she was asking me about how to do it. She shows proof. She actually brings the receipts of Tana
the
begging her to make an OnlyFans. So That's a problem.
Please post pictures of your butthole, please.
Pretty much. So that's kind of great. That is a big turn in the story, how the turntables have.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so, yeah. Let's read through the text. So, I can read them for you.
They're tiny on the screen.
What's happening? I'll just zoom in. Tell me your thoughts on OnlyFans, Tana says. And then Alissa says, there's no amount of money in the world. And then Tana says, ha ha ha, respect it, had to ask. And Alissa, haha, why? I was gonna pitch making you a fucking bag. Lamau, how? To make an OnlyFans? Yes, you'd make multi-millions, no question. And show nothing. The second I announced that I made an OnlyFans, even if posted pictures of my dogs, everyone would assume the worst, even without seeing what I'm posting.
Yeah, true.
And then people who would purchase the thing would feel scammed and sort of controversies. You can't win either way. And then Tana goes, I mean, you could wildly control the narrative, like everyone does it, and people feel like no longer think it's the worst. They would know you're in your bag. I also truly feel like no one would feel scammed. Everyone does that. As long as you don't overpromise and underdeliver, it could legit be photos of you that just don't make it to Instagram. Also, at the end of the day, also, at the end of the day, you have a fuck ton of male followers who are going to sexualize you regardless. Might as well make a killing off of that. Side note as well, on my second OnlyFans page, Tana Gone Wild, I vlog weekly. I vlog me drinking, being fun, wild, etc. People have always loved you vlogging so much. You could do a weekly 10-minute vlog that you don't even edit and make a minimum $500K a month off of that. And then you can promote it like, watch my exclusive vlogs. You could do that. Oh my god. That's wild. I'll think about it. So that's like the first set of text. Really put this back into place.
I mean, we're getting the business tips right now.
Then the second set of texts. That's wild. I'll think about it. Like deadass vlogs. We should just make our own app that has exclusive content, Alissa suggests. And you could promote it with full honesty. I know, but I swear to God, people make the fucking most on OF. Like you'd be buying a house and a Lambo after 6 months, bitch. And then she says, oh, hey, at the doctor. And, she's not answering. And then Tana messages her again. Starting OnlyFans, we're begging. She says, never. I knew it, damn it. Had to try. And then she responds to another story and goes, I'm yelling, please, make an OnlyFans, basically.
You should go on OnlyFans with me, bestie.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Oh, that makes you uncomfortable? Let me just keep pressing it.
Over and over and over. That is
it's a little weird.
Not good. Yeah.
A little weird.
So let's talk about this more.
And also, she's getting into the business, Could be like, hey, I'm trying to hook you up with... as you know...
With a manager
the business side of things is
going
to sound nasty.
Kind of stuff and...
Especially if you're things about, talking shit... But the problem is that she makes it entertaining, so people like it and enjoy it.
I know.
And then that's why, Alissa probably gets so much shit, is because she takes it seriously. So then the problem is who are you gonna want to watch? The person that doesn't take it seriously is just throwing shit at the wall, or the person that's genuinely upset and aggravated about things, right?
Yeah,
it's who you want to kind of side with the person that's being lighthearted about it. It's fun to side with Tana
because she's funny and more fun about it. But then, and Alissa was funny. Sorry, I forgot to point it out earlier. But if you go back in the video that we were watching where she was talking about these texts, her shirt she was wearing said "the meanest girl in LA," which is what Brooke called her.
Right.
So it's funny. She's calling back to that.
Yeah, that was good.
But anyways, more about this OnlyFans business. So, like I said, these texts are pretty pushy. If you don't know how OF works, if someone makes an account under you, they end up making a 5% commission.
I didn't know that.
So that's fucked up.
So that's, okay. So we're trying to...
So if Alissa used Tana's link to make an account, Tana would make a percentage of Alissa's earnings. 5%.
She wants to pimp her out.
She's basically trying to be a pimp.
Wow.
So basically a pimp is what I wrote. Tana also started a managing agency called Tana's Angels, where she essentially does this for a lot of girls. And it's a managing agency for OF creators, or girls that want to start doing an OF. So... Tana doesn't really post anything graphic, but has the account, in my opinion, so that she can make a commission off these girls. So, it's giving exploitation. So she doesn't...
So I didn't realize you wrote pimp, but she's literally pimping people out.
She's trying to pimp people out.
Yep.
And she's trying to pimp Alissa out. So
yeah, that's a little weird.
So she has the OF account, and like she talks to Alissa about being like, I don't even post anything really graphic, like it's just, you know, for the girlies, kind of like, and it's true, she doesn't post actual stuff, she just posts kind of lewd. And in my opinion, she only has the OF so that she can use it to make the commission off of using the link and having her account to share with other girls. So that is messed up.
Interesting.
In my opinion, I feel like that's really shady.
Yeah, I do feel
so
like
hard.
if people are making money on it, then they should be making the money off of what, like, I don't think there should be like a person that's, you know, collecting from everybody.
Well, the whole point of OnlyFans is literally to give power back to the girls, to not have to have someone.
Yeah,
to not have
that's
a pimp.
Yeah, exactly.
And now people have figured out a way to try to pimp people out. So with Tana's Angels, not only is she getting a commission for being an agent, whatever percentage she chooses, whether it's 20%, 30%, that's with the agency thing. Right. And then she's taking 5% from doing the link sign up. So Tana, at the end of the day, with this Tana's Angels thing, is looking to make 35% off of the girls that she's helping out. That's a pretty penny.
Than a lot of agents for things, like actual agents.
Yeah, because she's getting that 5% from the link, and then whatever amount she chooses with the girls.
I'm assuming she justifies it by like, oh, like you're using like my popularity to kind of, you know, get your OnlyFans started. But at the same time though, like, yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like the, oh hey, if you make an account under me, then I'm making these percentages, because like you said, it just kind of gives people some agency to kind of be like, yeah, no, I'm getting the power back and I'm making, you know, my own money through this.
Yeah.
Like,
and with the managers, like, they help, you know, send the messages to the people. They help, like, I don't know, like, manage. There's not really a lot to manage with OF. You really make the content, edit, and post it, and then respond to messages sometimes.
Right.
There's not really a lot of back ends, like with a YouTube channel. You need to make thumbnails. You need to make, like, posts other places. You have to reach out to brands for brand deals. You have to, like, earn a revenue in all these different ways. This is the product itself that's selling, and it's behind a paywall. There's a lot less to go on. Like, at that point, you've already hooked the people. There's not much to do after that. And so paying for a manager to help with it, I mean, maybe, like you said, using her fame to help boost it, but there's not a lot of good reason otherwise.
I agree. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So already sketched out by that. So
I think it's already a lot to kind of do that as a businst, and it's
already a tough decision. And then trying to convince young girls to do that.
I like it. It's like if you're already literally posting yourself on the internet, like nude and stuff.
Yeah. It's
like you at least want those to be yours. You want ownership of your own body, and there's always going to be shitheads. There's always going to be leaks. There's always going to be shit like that. But at least you are making the money at the end of the day. But then if you're like, you know, giving like 35% of that sucks.
It's sussy. It's not.
We don't need OnlyFans pimps. We don't need.
The literal whole point of OnlyFans is that you can do it yourself. You don't need a pimp. Like, it's supposed to give power back to SWs, which is like S workers. Like, you know, you're supposed to be able to take your power back as an SW. You shouldn't have to like have these people overseeing. It's just nonsense. So anyways, here's a bit of a summary from this creator on TikTok called Meeposaurus. They're also an OF creator, and they're very funny, but they have like interesting, you know, kind of wrap up about this, because they have more insight to like people reaching out to them for these sorts of things with managing, for example, and like the whole situation as a whole, like more detailed, because they do OF. So let's take a look. Okay. So they have experience with the situation.
We're gonna hear it from a professional. From a professional.
And she's funny.
I couldn't get the words out.
She's also very entertaining, obviously. So just keep that in mind.
And Tana's like, oh, it's called Tana's Angels. Tana, you're a pimp. You're a fucking pimp. Fuck you. I'm going to talk more about my job because I think a lot of people are interested in it, and a lot of people don't know the ins and outs of what the fuck someone does whenever they say that they have an adult account, right?
pretty much every single fucking girl on here who make more than like $5,000 a month have management companies. Do you want to know why? Management companies don't go to girls with not a lot of followers, not a lot of money, and great potential. No, they go to the girls who are already making fucking bank. Why? Because it's working and they want a piece of the fucking pie. Mm-hmm. These are pimps. They are not management companies, okay? This is like it's like a form of like dry trafficking almost, because it's like, hey, we're gonna own all of your content and we're gonna post it wherever the fuck we want. And that's it. And then they get some guy from like Brickell, Miami to do the chatting, or some guy from fucking Venezuela to do the chatting, and they pay him like $3 an hour. Guys, this is the most fucked up industry. I want to do a whole like YouTube video on it, because it's just, anyway, fuck a management company, okay? I had a friend who was doing it, looked into it a little bit, because I didn't want to do the chatting. Okay, it's kind of traumatizing sometimes. There are some freaks who are like sick in the head. Not majority of them, but like the few freaks, they fuck you up, right? So I was like, oh, that'd be cool to not do the chatting anymore, right? So hire this management company, and they're like, hey, so all the money's gonna go to us first, and then we're gonna pay you. I said, what? Are you fucking on crack? That's my money. I'll pay you because you're a service. You don't pay me. I'm not your employee. You know, I was like, we did it for like 2 weeks. I broke the contract. I was like, no, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. And then that's another thing. They create like this like contract that's totally not binding, and it has all this like legal jargon. And so all these women who are like 19 and are making all this fucking money, like all these predators, right? I had a friend who got locked into this contract. She was fucking freaking out. She's like, I'm gonna have to make this content for a year. That's the thing. Some of these guys, like these contracts say, like, I will own you and your content for a duration of an entire fucking year, right? What? That's not how that works. But these women don't know that. So when my friend showed me this contract, I fucking laughed at her. I was like, they contradicted themselves 5 times in this fucking contract. Automatically not viable. Break it immediately. How do I break the contract? Just tell them you're done. Tell them it's not a fucking legitimate contract and you're breaking it. Done! She did. And they went, good. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. These are just like little boys. You know, it's like this account, this was created so that women had a little more autonomy in an industry that we've basically like never had full autonomy in. Mm. And then what? Who's getting into it? The men. Oh, and then Tana Mongeau is in this, dude. She's fucking DMing us on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Who else? Austin McBroom DM'd me. Little Pump DM'd me!
Lil Pump.
Like, this is predatory, and
she's really funny.
And Tana's like, it's called Tana's Angels. Tana, you're a pimp. You're a fucking pimp. Fuck you. Let women have their own fucking money. Jesus. I never explained what I'm doing today. It's a Monday morning.
Talking about, like, managing her OF and, like, what she does, basically.
Interesting.
But
I'll have to take some business tips.
Oh, my God, no. From Lil Pump and Austin McBroom? Yeah, probably not.
No, it's true, though. I mean, see, we're already...
And it's showing, like, her friends are getting messaged by Tana. She's getting messaged by Austin McBroom. Like, these... And, you know, on Age 3 podcast, they had girls call in and send messages from, like, Austin McBroom, for example. These people, like, this is a viable industry and side hustle for these big creators to just reach out to these girls and be like, I have a management company for OF people, and, like, you know, it's, like, a really big problem.
It's a shame.
Right
like,
now for these people.
That's why I'm not liking Tana right now. Because I don't like deception.
No, it's really bad.
I don't like scummy behavior like that.
It's not good.
And also, yeah, she has a point. Like, at some 19-year-old that's like just started
They
their
got a
account,
little fame on TikTok.
pops off.
Hey,
They're not
you
gonna
should
know
take a
what a
whiff.
legal contract fucking looks like at all.
exactly.
I fucking wouldn't know, you know? Like, so
it's just young people who like maybe too they start influencing. They get a couple 100,000 on TikTok, and then these people reach out to them like, "Hey, have you ever considered making an OF?" Like, and then it. You know, they're very impressionable, like someone they look up to, right? Like Tana, like a lot of girls my age look up to Tana because we grew up with her pretty much. And, you know, having her message and be like, oh, you should start an OF, you're so beautiful. Like, that could be really influencing to these people who haven't even started one.
she seems like a hustler. She gets that bread at other people's expense. She's good at getting the bread because she's entertaining. I'll admit it. She's entertaining.
She's super entertaining.
For sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't like this deceptive.
It's not good.
It's not good.
So Tana's Angels, which is her OF managing agency, is under this bigger agency that I guess Tana's a part of that's called Unruly Agency, which is also for OF. So Unruly Agency is a company with 9 lawsuits against them right now for exploiting S-workers.
Whoa!
And they essentially reach out to young, vulnerable, newly influencers and try to get them into doing S-work. So they're influencers who aren't even doing it yet, and they're like reaching out to them and being like, hey, you should start an OnlyFans, like we can help you, that kind of thing.
Dude.
Like, really not good.
That's fucked up.
And Tana's thing is under that.
Holy shit.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no one should be pressured into doing this shit.
It's not good.
If you're doing this shit and you're like, I'm fucking doing this shit, this is my shit, I chose to do this shit. That's all the fucking power to you, man.
Yeah.
But
that shit
pressuring people
life.
to do this shit? No, of course it changes your life.
It's so hard to get a normal job after that if you try this.
Yeah, and also, like...
It's just not, like, it's a big decision, and you can't be having anything pressuring you one way or the other. Like, that's... Yeah. But anyway, some excerpts from this article. Internet personality Tana Mongeau is trying her hand at influencing management. She announced this week that she's launching Tana's Angels division, blah, blah, blah. So, under, like, Unruly. And then here's an article headline from Unruly saying, they promised her online fame. This influencer says they exposed her nudes and threatened her instead. So he claims the people behind Unruly and Behave are pretty bloodthirsty and money hungry, and they treat their talent as objects. They most definitely don't have your best interests in mind.
Jesus.
So this is just an example of like
that's so awful.
The kind of behavior going on with this
fucking god.
Like agency that's above Tana's Angels.
Ugh.
So I wouldn't want to have anything to do with Unruly if
that's
I was
disgusting.
Tana, and she has her whole management company under them.
Mm.
So that's, to me, really upsetting when I found this all out. And no one's talking about this. Alissa, like, really brushed over this. You know?
I don't know if...
And I don't blame her because she's been getting so much hate from Tana's fans that she probably just... She butted in the first place, remember?
Pick your battles,
she put herself into the situation to talk about Jason,
and
she got so much hate for that, and she's probably like, you know what, I don't want to put myself out there again.
That's reasonable.
And that's a lot to put yourself out there like that and take on a lot of hate. I guess technically I'm kind of doing that right now, like calling out Tana and being like, hey, don't do this, that's fucked up, what are you doing?
That's fucked up, don't do that, don't be a pimp.
But, I mean, what is she gonna do? Like, call me out? Do it. I'm not scared.
Oh my... Bro.
I'm just kidding. But, like, I don't... Whatever.
Bro, relax. Bro.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But, like, seriously, like, whatever. I mean, what are they gonna do? Like...
Yeah.
I doubt this will go viral. That's like the nice thing about having a smaller podcast is we can just talk about this stuff and not get into too much heat. But like if I started to get a bunch of hate comments from her fans, I know that this is messed up and I don't care because like if I could help one girl not fall into the trap of doing SW because they were convinced by one of these people, then I'm happy and I'll take whatever hate I have to take because to me this is important to talk about. Like please, if you are like being convinced by someone, being reached out to by someone, anything like that, and thinking that this is a good idea for you, do not let anyone convince you to do this or to not do this. Like only listen to yourself whether this is a good idea for you or not. Like don't let these creeps on the internet tell you what to do, and don't use a management agency, for the love of God. Just do it yourself. It's not going to be that much more
and
work.
if you're in a contract, it's
Break
most
it,
likely totally fucking bullshit. So.
Reach out to Meeposaurus. They may be able to help you. Exactly.
Or if you're making bank, get a lawyer to look at it.
Yeah,
take it apart.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, or try to take it apart yourself. You can ask ChatGPT, like, find the flaws in this contract.
Right.
And that can even help. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Just...
No, but it's important if this stuff is going on to address it.
Yeah.
Because that's criminal. That's fucked up.
This is, like, feels illegal. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So... kind of a sad note to end it on, but now you're in the loop. We can discuss it.
And now we can discuss. See, I always feel bad when I see that because
I just put
I'm
that,
like,
no,
I'm going to discuss the whole time.
We're supposed to discuss the whole time. I just put that at the end so we have, like...
Just because it's funny.
Because it's funny, yeah, exactly.
Just it's like, now we can talk about it.
So now discuss.
So what do you think?
No, but we can definitely discuss the whole time, obviously. But
Damn.
I just feel icky.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
Well,
like I said, I really liked Tana before this. This is really upsetting to me. Like, when I was researching this, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, I don't like this. This is really sad. And I hope she addresses it, and I hope she just cuts it and stops it. Because it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. If she addresses it and says, I fucked up, and I'll never do that again, then I would respect that.
Based off the information, based off of the vibe and how successful everything is.
Yeah.
She's very successful because she's very entertaining, very good storyteller.
Yeah, super funny. Tana, yeah, super funny.
And I guess the kind of darker aspect of that is in those texts, it's kind of like you get to see kind of the ugly business side of like, hey, let's make some money, let's get you in the OnlyFans. I'm scheming. I'm trying to pull some strings, Lamborghinis, promises of things.
Yeah, all these
things. It's like, yeah, this is kind of one of those situations where it's like, I'm going to use my talent, but not for good. Yeah. Not in a good way. To take advantage and kind of milk everything I can out of the system.
And even trying to get Alissa on it. It's like... Ugh.
And unfortunately for Alissa, I'm kind of like... It's always one of those things where, like, it's like, yeah, pick your own battles. Like, if something's important to you, like... It's hard, too. Like, I don't think it's the same thing as Tana. Because if Tana, like, lashes back, it seems a little bit more calculated, like a business thing. Right? Like, kind of playing the game a bit. But with Alissa, it's like, you know... a little passionate, like, hey man, what the fuck, hypocrite. And then, you know, if it's a fight you can't finish, it's gonna be tough. But you know what?
And she said GG's. She's like,
all the best to her, man. Seriously.
All the best to Alissa?
All the best to her. But yeah, man. I mean, it's interesting to see this one play out because there are some twists and turns.
I know. It's so Team Tana until the last.
But it also goes to show how charming people are.
Yeah.
And how quickly you can kind of be like, oh, I kind of like this person's vibe because
she's so funny.
Charming,
and
right?
like I totally, when you were seeing her stuff for the first time here, you're like, oh, she's really entertaining and really funny. And that's the thing, is it's so easy to get hooked by her. She's very entertaining. And
if I liked her so much and I started like defending her online after seeing like 2 videos because I'm like, what, she's so cool and funny.
It could be easy to ignore these really bad things happening. And this is really bad. Like, she needs to address this, I think. Like, she needs to cut it down. She needs to cancel Tana's Angels. She needs to talk about that.
It's the dark side.
Yeah, it's not good. It's really sad. It's sad to take advantage of girls.
I just kind of wish people just did things for, you know.
Like, how much money do you truly need? Like, she's already really successful.
Yeah,
really
I was
rich.
gonna
like,
say
how
that.
How much more do you need? Like, where you're like mooching off these people.
Like, do what you can for yourself.
You
get on your feet. Be stable. Like, make sure you're happy and healthy. And then, if the money's still rolling in, just start, you know, moving it around. Like, make someone's day. Fucking do something nice.
Invest into the S&P 500. Don't.
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what them things are. I'm just a simple man. I drink my tall can beer and talk about drama with my girlfriend.
That's true.
I don't know what none of them things are.
That's true. I'm getting sleepy, but
I'm getting real tired. It was a long day today.
yeah, it was long. But
How you doing, Larry?
How's
Oh man,
Kenny?
he's out of it.
Kenny's okay.
Larry's hammered.
Yeah. Luna's tired too. You guys can't see. I keep staring at Luna.
Luna's asleep.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That's how you know.
You got the zoomies out. The
Yeah.
zoomies are out.
When the cat's asleep, it's sleepy time.
Yeah, sleepy time. But yeah, what do you think about this?
Um,
About what Tana is up to?
First of all, great presentation.
Thanks.
It's always so well done.
Oh.
It's very entertaining.
So sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this was a battle that probably shouldn't have happened, but because of it, we learned some dark truths. You know, I still wish the best for both of them.
Me too.
Yeah.
I know. I hope. I genuinely, selfishly want Tana to make up for this and apologize for this, so I can continue enjoying.
But
her.
I also don't think that people are completely unredeemable. I think there are some things you can do that are pretty
That's why I want her to.
bad and unredeemable. But
Yeah.
it's almost kind of like, okay, you know what, you can turn back.
This she can turn back to the light side.
Let's scrap this trying to be a pimp shit. Let's
no more pimping.
focus on entertaining people and making people laugh and have a good time. Well, I mean, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's
too.
all I got for you.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment letting us know if you have any fun topic ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But that was in the loop number dos.
Number two.
Number two.
We did another one of these so fast.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did that shit.
Yeah.
Good job.